Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to the Grisaia. Just like I predicted, after... Let's see, like how long has it been? After the last episode. Let's go here real quick so that the BGM doesn't disturb me because it's so loud in my ears. Let me actually tell you guys my thought process. But yeah, it's been a while since the last episode that I recorded. Well, not that long, it's been like 2 days. After Asachi's route, just like I said, I basically listened to her BGM for like the next 5 hours or something. And I'm like, damn, I was so melancholic. That is something that I have to fix for myself. I'm usually not a very, like, emotional person per se, but when it's something that I really enjoy, or when it's something that I can quite relate to, it takes a while for me to get through it. But with renown, determination, let us go through, I assume, Michiru's route. So sorry, Sachi. I can't actually pet your head this time. Damn you, God. Damn you, God! I am anticipating Michiru's route quite a bit. Like, back in the day, I think I rated her route the last. Like, it was the worst route that I played in this game. But maybe now that I know more about some stuff that happens in the route, maybe I'll change some opinions. We'll see. Sorry, Sachi. Personally, I prefer a different penalty, if that's alright with you.
そうですか。では、風見さんとの再戦を要求します。
Damn you, God! An interesting choice. Can't say I was expecting a second round, but if you're that caught up on the game, Sachi, I don't mind giving you another match when we have the time.
はい。では私も明日からなるべく時間を空けておくようにします。
Damn you, Petterhead! You're seriously fired up.
やぶきですか?
Fundamentally, Sachi seems the same airheaded girl as always, but judging from this highly out-of-character assertiveness, she must have gotten quite fond of Makina's strange game.
二人ともまだ残ってるかな?
You don't see the sprite where they show the legs quite all that often. Man, looking at Amane's sprite, she clearly needs to zip up those freaking trousers. Or I don't know, are those like jeans or something? Not sure. Makina returns from the second floor only a few minutes after she left. This time with Amane in tow. What's this? Makina, please tell me you're not thinking of adding Amane into the game for a 4-way battle royale?
それは明暗です。ああ、目を輝かせてるさっちゃんには悪いんだけど、私が来たのは別の用事なの。
An errand?
そう、今日はさっちゃんとユージをスオー家の夕食に招待しようと思って。
Not that you inviting us to eat is particularly rare, but what's with the formal invitation? Some special occasion?
それは自分の胸に手を当てて考えたらわかると思うけど。
Just as instructed, I put my hand on my chest and searched for the answer in my heart. Does lub dub have anything to do with it? Because that's all I'm getting. That's probably like doki doki.
どうしてそうベタな反応になっちゃうかな?
Kindly stop heaving sighs in my direction. As I've told you before, I'm a surprisingly naive soul. Please spell out the situation for me.
だってマキナに入れ知恵したのユージなんでしょ?
Ah, so we're talking about the tacos here.
そのおかげで料理を一つ追加することになったのはいいんだけど。
Man, speaking of tacos, I have never eaten good tacos here in Indo. There is a Taco Bell that opened up like a couple of months ago, but till this day, I actually never went there. A lot of my friends actually told me that you don't want to eat Taco Bell if you care about your stomach. But I am curious about what they taste like. So maybe I will go there at some point.
一人分だけ作るのは食材がもったいないから多めに作ってみんなで食べてもらおうかなって。
Now I see. It's an idea very typical of our frugal-minded Amane.
だからちゃんと責任取ってね、ユージ。
I don't like how you worded that, but whatever. Do me a favor and don't say stuff like that with a blush on your face. It's seriously bad for the heart.
もう釣れないな。
Also, I've already finished with the prep for my own meal, so...
私も下準備はできているので。じゃあそれ持ってきてよ。私が美味しく調理するからさ。
Yeah. Impressive resilience. But I suppose that's only to be expected of a veteran resident of the school.
へへへ。今日娘は意外に根性据わってますね。
Tell me something. In Kyoto, do all the girls cackle like
というわけで2人とも参加決定だから。
I'm guessing he was gonna say murdering something, or I don't know, what else would he said? Amane closes the matter with a wink that reads, I'm a harmless little girl. It's distinctly unconvincing. Also nauseating.
ユージ、顔が白くなってるけどどうかした？
I swear, this woman.
じゃあ、完成まであと30分くらいかかると思うから、もう少しだけお外で遊んでてね。
What? Are we in grade school now? You want us to go around a playground until it gets dark?
公園。そんな顔しなくても大丈夫だよ、お兄ちゃん。その間はもちろん、5色プレイプラスでデュエルなのよさ。
Damn you, God! Man, after playing through Sachi's route, the fact that she responded to playground makes me kind of sad for a bit. For some reason, Makina mimes the motion of flipping cards off a deck. Since when did that game involve cards? And so, I was once again dragged back into the soul-crushing game in question, mumbling complaints all the while. Damn you, Yuji!
おはよ
Yeah. Answering Michiru's greeting, then winking in response to Sakaki's silent glance, I make my way to my seat. A perfectly normal morning, so far.
う。みんな、おはようだぽん。
At least until Amane and an oversized puppy arrive on the scene. Apparently, the school is truly tolerant in regard to pets on campus. Perhaps too much so. Maybe it's a marketing strategy to differentiate them from the crowd, like those Animals OK cafes.
お兄ちゃん、おはようなのよさぽん。
Just for your information, ending your sentences with weird little barks make you sound like a complete mental case.
それは言わない約束なのよポポン。
So she was aware. By the way, young pup, are you done with extreme typos already?
それは昨日までの遊びポン。今日からは動物擬人化プレイが流行るのよさポポン。
That's a very difficult word you're saying, Makina. Anthropomorphic. The fuck?
この子、遊びを思いつくのも早いけど、飽きるのも早いから。
Amane's words of explanation seem to carry a tinge of exhaustion. That's a pretty typical trait of a child, actually. They kinda lose interest pretty often, or pretty easily. I know that my niece is actually quite attentive when I try to explain some stuff that's a bit too sciencey. And she would listen for a tiny bit, and then she'd be like... back to her phone. Maybe looking at TikTok or something. Damn you, Zoomers.
皆さん、おはようございます。
Seems one person hasn't gotten with the times quite yet.
そういえば、昨日はなあなあな感じでお開きになってたっけ。
Just as Amane says, our extreme typos marathon continued well after we'd finished our group dinner. Once Machina started complaining about being tired, everyone wandered back to their rooms without any firm conclusion to the game.
そういえばそうなのよサポポン。ってあんたたちは何落ち着いてるのよ。早く指摘してあげないとずっとこんな喋り方になっちゃうかもしれないでしょ。
それに何か問題かありますか、みちる様。
あんたがそれを言うか。
Calm yourself, Michiru-sama.
もうリセットリセット。誰かサチの設定をリセットできるボタン持ってきて。
That was a pretty awkward cut. Back when the village well was still an essential aspect of daily life, the world was a happier place. By avoiding the well, it was possible to avoid women's idle gossip to some degree. In modern times, the whole world is a minefield. Oops. My twitchy fingers. I actually don't do that quite often anymore. I can't believe I still do that now. You never know when you're getting to trigger a verbal explosion. Sweets are especially troublesome. Despite their small size, they're extremely effective at inspiring females to chatter on at length. Their destructive efficiency resembles that of a hollow point bullet.
ユージいいところに来た。
Our program of academic activities is over for today. I'm just taking a short breather when Amane calls for my attention. Sorry, I'm busy at the moment. Can it wait?
ちょっとそんなに露骨に嫌がらなくてもいいじゃない。
I'm not attempting to shoot you down, and I'm not trying to be blunt either. I'm just informing you that I don't currently have time to put up with the lengthy, pointless chattering you people seem to love so much.
ねえそれ全然やんわりした表現になってないわよ。
I mean... you guys do talk about some pointless stuff all the time.
ないわよ。嫌がらなくていいじゃないのよさ。今ね友情の話してたのよ。
I'm sure I've already explained that my knowledge on this particular topic is fairly shallow, but apparently they haven't quite gotten the message yet. Sorry, but I'm not going to be of much use. I've never even done the typical marathon bloody-knuckled fighting by the bank of the river until both sides collapse and become fast friends thing. This is a spoiler for Persona 4, but that is exactly what happened during the social link rank 9, I think, for like the main character and Yosuke Hanamura, which is like the best friend trope.
君それを一般的だと思ってるの？そんなの大体の人はやったことないわよ。
But it happens on my anime games, Amane. It's gotta be real. That a fact. Happens all the time in books, though. I was convinced it must be a commonplace daily event.
なんで殴って友達になるのよさ。殴られたら嫌いになっちゃうでしょ。でも今回はそういう友情の話じゃないの。男女の友情は成立するかどうか。これって結構重要な問題だと思うのよね。
Is it really? I mean, my friends have talked about this before, but that was like in high school. No one talks like this anymore. At my age, anyway. But then again, these guys are in high school, technically.
私はよくわかんないんだけどね。友達は友達だもんね。
ごめんなさい、ちょっと通るわね。
ああ、ユミちゃんはどう思う？
どうって何よ？
今ね、男女の友情は成立するか否かという人類における命題に手をつけようとしていたのよ。
男女の友情？私にはわからないわ。
ちょっとは考えるのよさ。
考えたじゃない。あまり経験がないから答えようがないのよ。それを知っててわざと質問したの？あまり困らせないで。
おお、子はちょっと怒ってたのよさ。あんたの言い方が少しぶしつけすぎたんじゃないの？大丈夫ブクブクだと思ったのよ。
ねえマキちゃん、ブンブクブクってどんな生き物？私が考えるに 見た目はかなりタコに近くて8本の足と吸盤で、食べるとカレー味。それがブンブクブク。
Okay, I don't know how you got that picture from Dun Buku Buku, but okay, Sachi.
さっちゃん、きっと適当に言っただけだから気にすることないよ。
A wise policy. Take anything Makina says with multiple grains of salt, if you listen at all.
適当じゃねえのよ。どっかで聞いたのよさ。
どこで聞いたんだろう。味が気になる。ねえマキちゃん、何味とかって言ってなかった？
It might not even be food, Sachi.
味はわかんねえな。酸っぱいんじゃない？
ちょっと忙しいんだから呼ばないでよね。
全然呼んでないのよ。
だって今酸っぱいって言うから、てっきりまた私をどうにかしようとしてるのかと。
You want to be pestered?
そんなわけないでしょ。ちょっと勘違いしただけじゃない。
まったくチルチルはヘンチョコリンでヘンテコリンなのよさ。
ヘンチョコ、きっと茶色で足が9本。食べるとカレー味。
Stop it, Sachi, please. Sachi, my friend, are you perhaps somewhat hungry at the moment? You're oddly persistent with this curry thing. Chocolate flavor would have been the more logical choice in this case.
ほんと、私ってばすみません。
あ、じゃあせっかくだからみちるにも聞いてみようかな。
嫌よ。絶対あんたに教えてあげないからね。で、何？
男女の友情って成立すると思う？ほら、男女で親友同士みたいな感じ？
ちょっとわかんないかな。
こういう話題って男か女かでも考え方が違うからね。どう思ってるか気になるわよね。
そうだね。
あれ？チルチル、どうしたん？
なんでもないよ。ちょっとごめんね。みちる様、大丈夫でしょうか？随分と具合が悪そうでしたが。
確かにね。私気に障るようなこと言ったかな。
いえ、もしかしたら私が味に執着するあまりご機嫌を損ねてしまったのかもしれません。
I don't think so.
どっちでもないんじゃねえの？きっとお腹痛いのよさ。
What? It's colitis this time? Of course, if there's a fever, we can't rule out malaria either. Alright, I suppose I'll have to take appropriate measures.
ユージに任せて大丈夫かな？
Yeah. Okay then, I'll be going now. Does she really look all that bad? Considering she kinda just leaves. Like, you know, it doesn't seem like she has any stomachache or anything. Just she's not very comfortable with the topic. I decide to poke my nose into Michiru's business, less out of genuine concern for her health than the desire to escape a tedious conversation. Smart move, Yuji. But after searching the entire dormitory from top to bottom, she's nowhere to be found. Locked in the lavatory, perhaps.
どうしたの？探し物だったら静かに探して。
Have you seen Michiru?
松島さんなら外に出て行ったけど。
Say what? I see. Thanks for the heads up.
別にいいけど。
Why would she head outside when she's clearly feeling poorly? Or was that just some sort of an act? Michiru, what do you think you're doing? You need to take it easy if you don't want those clothes to end up irredeemably soiled.
何が？
Hmm? Is your chest hurting? It looks like you're in pain.
でも大丈夫。休めば治るから。
Michiru's face contorts in evident agony. Beads of greasy sweat have formed on her forehead. It looks like a considerably more serious attack than the one I witnessed a few weeks ago. What's wrong? Look, I know you're devoted to your craft, but no one's going to revoke your membership in the Tsundere Club if you ask for help when you're sick.
大丈夫だってば。この
と同じだから少し休めば治るし。
You look terrible, though.
慣れてるから大丈夫。ねえ、それよりも一人にさせて。
I can't do that. I'd be unable to assess if this attack suddenly developed into a medical emergency. I'm not willing to take that risk.
いいの。ユージが放っといてくれないなら私がどっか行く。
As good as her word, Michiru stalks sluggishly off the school grounds, dragging her shadow behind her like a ball and chain tied to her feet. Seems she found my intervention seriously unpleasant. I quietly watch her go. Well, that was
大
awkward.
丈夫だった？
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem.
そっか、よかった。どうしたのかと思っちゃったわよ。
みちる様はどこか具合が悪いのでしょうか。
きっと悪いものでも食べたのよさ。この前消しゴムをチルチルに向かって投げたら反射的に口を開けてひょいぱくしてたし。それでどうしたの？もごもごしながら「これ何？」って言うから「ウルテ」って返事しておいたのよさ。
ウルテ、ホルモン焼きにある牛の気管のことですね。
That's a very weird, food that you know of, Makina. I don't think I've ever eaten that. I usually eat the innards of cows, but the trachea, that's an interesting part of the body.
またマニアックな食材を。そしたらみちるなんだって？うまいねって言ってそのままどっか行った。
The girl's taste buds may have been permanently fried from drinking nothing but sour stuff all the time. Wait, but don't they cut those distinctive little notches into the tracheal tube when making urute? From the shape alone, she should have been able to determine it was an eraser.
そこは私がちゃんとウルテっぽく消しゴムに切れ目を入れておいたのよさ。結構細かくて大変な作業だったのよ。
Yeah,
日本人ならではの器用さを発揮したのよさ。
sure, whatever, Makina. In that case, I guess it's not surprising she'd make the mistake. You're admirably meticulous about the details.
そんなことしたらダメでしょ。どう考えても体に良くないじゃない。そこはあれよ。ちゃんとフォローとして胃腸薬も渡しておいたのよさ。
Please don't tell me it was a pulverized eraser.
まあとにかくチルチルは今日も元気に生きているのよさ。マキナ、後でちょっと話があるからね。怒られる気がする。
ところで、みちる様はどちらにいらっしゃるのでしょうか。私も様子を見ておきたいのですが。
Can't say I know. She wandered off somewhere by herself.
何それ、どういうこと？私大丈夫だったって聞いたよね。
Amani's reaction to my words is distinctly overblown. Things seem to be moving in a troublesome direction all of a sudden. You did indeed, and I assured you that she was. My grounds for that judgment were very simple. Michiru herself said as much.
もう何してるのよ。あの顔見て大丈夫だって思ったの？
Can't deny it was a little pale. Personally, I didn't think she appeared particularly healthy in general. But the girl herself said,
思ってないなら一人にしちゃダメじゃない。様子を見てきなよ。あ、
でしたら私が。
さっちゃんはいいの。これはみちるを一人にしたユージが悪い。だからちゃんと探して責任取ってきなさい。
You guys didn't do shit too! How is it my fault? What sort of responsibility did you have in mind?
ちゃんと最後まで介抱してあげるとか、保健室まで送り届けるとかあるでしょ。男だったらそうしなさい。ねえさっちゃん、ユージは女の子に見える？
Man, in the current time, Amane, these sort of like gender-specific roles are, I don't know, man. I feel like whenever there are like sentences or statements that are like this, I feel uncomfortable. Just because I'm a guy doesn't mean I have to do something specific. Like defining what a guy should do. Just because a girl is a girl doesn't mean they have to do something specific that define what girls have to do. But I guess it's been like this. Society dictates there are actually gender roles and guys have to do this, girls have to do that. I hate that.
いいえ、女性には見えないですね。性別を問われたら男性だと答えます。
でしょ？ほらね、ユージ、行ってきなさい。
Man, if I was Yuji at this point, I'd be like, I'm gender neutral. Can't say I'm feeling particularly motivated.
私が一緒に行ってあげようか。マキナはいいから。これはユージの問題だから。
Good lord, it's hardly a problem warranting such squawking. I get the message. I suppose I'll go look for her.
心当たりがあるのでしょうか。
Yeah, there's one place that comes to mind. I leave our school and head to the location in question. Michiru probably headed for that high ridge overlooking the sea. It's a quiet space where she won't be disturbed, and she seems to find it pleasant. I thought there are many other places that meet those criteria for her. And yet, Michiru isn't here. No matter how much I look, I don't see our familiar bottle blonde dimwit. Damn, have my instincts grown dull? That cry. I turned in the direction of the sound, toward the very first area I checked. At the time, I quickly determined Michiru wasn't there. Now, I notice a blonde girl seated on the grass. But despite that distinctive golden hair and the Mahama Academy uniform she's wearing, I can't convince myself that girl is Michiru. Very strange. Are these errors of judgment on my part? Perhaps my perception of reality has been warped by spending so long inside that hermetically sealed pocket of eccentricity they call a school. Michiru? Answer me.
Ah, ごめん。少し休んでいただけ。
No, I've got the wrong person after all. At least, that's what it feels like. But the number of people who wear this uniform is very small. Logically speaking, there can't be any mistake. The girl in front of me has the exact same face as Matsushima Michiru in every perceivable way. But the closer I look, the more she seems like someone else entirely. What's going on here?
Eh?
A very subtle change in some visual detail can dramatically change a person's impression. But this isn't that sort of a spot the differences puzzle. To put the matter plainly, this Michiru simply is not Michiru. I can understand now why my eyes slid right over her at first. Of course, I'm now left with a far greater mystery. Who is this Michiru I see before me? Who are you?
誰って、どういうこと？
And so, I ask her point blank. I'm well aware that it's a strange question, but there just doesn't seem to be any other way to phrase it. The imposter Michiru is staring out at the ocean, a small black cat curled up in her lap. She looks perfectly healthy. There's no indication of distress on her face. If anything, you'd think she rolled out of bed at noon and took a little stroll to enjoy the fine weather. She appears utterly relaxed. Is Ramble doing okay? I emphasize the name as if to definitively slap a label on the cat. Michiru turns toward me, a quizzical expression on her face.
ロンメル？ロンメルって、あのロンメル？
I don't know which Rommel you're referring to. There's no way I can answer that question. More importantly, which Michiru are you? You're not that Michiru, I'm pretty sure.
あのミチル？面白いこと言うのね。ミチルはミチルじゃないの？
I'm guessing they actually I'm guessing this is a typo. There should not be 3 is a Michiru. Or 2. This girl doesn't stumble in conversing with me. She banters back with perfect composure. At the very least, I don't think you are the Michiru I know.
わかった。私が悪かった。お芝居はやめるわ。だけど、どのミチルだっていいじゃない。 今まで誰も気がつかなかったのに。君が分かったことが逆に驚きだわ。
Mind explaining in more detail? I don't understand what's going on here.
だからどうして理解する必要があるの？何でも理由を求めて、何でも文脈を踏まえて。君は辞書を枕にして生活してるのかな？
Well, as a kid, no, but as I grow up, I'm a lot more skeptical about some stuff. Mostly because I'm afraid of being, misled. I don't think the girl's deliberately trying to confuse me, but this attitude is somewhat irritating. Reminds me of a mean-spirited adult teasing a child while holding an empty cookie jar behind their back. Now that you mention it, I think I may have slept with books more often than women.
そうなんだ。なんだか難しいのよ君は。もっと頭を柔らかくできないの？君が女の子をデートに誘うとき、どうするか想像もできない。
Well, maybe not a date, but having sex is a different matter, Michiru. I'd probably just say come with me. Of course, I'm fully capable of utilizing honeyed words instead, if the situation necessitates them.
その言い方が全然普通じゃないよね。初めて会うタイプの人。
That a fact. I can't say I remember running across anyone like you either. Have we been introduced yet? Michiru lets out a brief, amused chuckle.
そうやって意地悪言わないの。ほら、普通のお話しようよ。海面と陸地の比率の話がお気に入りだっけ？それにしたってよくここが分かったわね。
Why would I enjoy the proportional surface area of the Earth's oceans? The fuck? Wasn't exactly a difficult guess. You like this place well enough to designate it as your final resting place after all.
ああ、そっかそっか。でもここは風も強いし、少し肌寒いし、私はそれほど好きじゃないな。あの子は気に入ってるみたいだけど。
Sorry, you're losing me.
でも少し退屈じゃない？
Okay, she's not done, sorry. Sorry, you're losing me again. Who's that girl supposed to be?
では理解しやすい会話をしよう。私を探しに来てくれて感謝している。だが心配は無用だ。健康状態は回復し良好。しばしの休息を猫と共にとっているだけだ。
Precise, clear phrasing. Must say though, you're now on the insipid side of things.
これ、君の真似なんだけど。
Say what? I see. No, surely I don't talk like that.
面白い人だね。
Michiru clears her throat with an affected hum.
なるほど。では本当にちゃんと話をしてあげよう。君さ、前に死んだら何もないって言ってたでしょ。天国も地獄もないんだって。
Yeah, that's what I believe too. That's right. Those stories are complete nonsense, invented to control people through superstitious terror and fraudulent promises of salvation. Of course, once you die, your brain becomes nothing more than a rotting piece of meat. So it can't exactly hurt to think what you want while you're alive. It's not like you're ever going to realize you were wrong. If the idea of a heaven waiting for you makes life more bearable, you may as well believe in it.
でも君はそうは思ってない。
I'm not prone to that particular delusion, no. I understand that death is something like an endless, dreamless sleep.
夜に眠って朝に目が覚めないのが死ぬっていうことよね。
Yeah, more or less.
では、もし目が覚めないと思っていたのに目が覚めたらどうする？
Then I'm not dead yet. What are you talking about? A corpse rising from the grave?
ちゃんと考えてみて。一度死んで眠りについて、それから目が覚める。君はどう思う？
Well, I have heard stories about people who went into a comatose state and were mistakenly identified as dead. Every once in a while, a corpse pops up off the bed and scares the hell out of everyone in the room.
ねえ君、私はそんな話はしてない。死んで目が覚めたらどうするってこと。夜で終わりだと思ってたのに、次の朝が来ちゃったらどうするってこと。
Sorry, what?
わからないでしょ。わかんないのよ。つまり君にもわかんないことがあるってこと。死んだら何もなくなるなんて想像でしかないじゃない。
I mean, yes, but that's all everything is when it comes to the topic of death.
それを知った風に言うことで偉くなったつもり？
Oh, I thought she was gonna say more this time. Not particularly.
では質問を変えます。もし死んでそれで終わりだったら、なんで人間は生きてるの？どうせ死んじゃうのに、なんで必死に生きてるの？
When we could just die early and skip the pain. Is that where you're going with this?
質問に質問で答えない。自分なりに判断して返答せよ。
If you think your life to be yours alone, I suppose you're free to die whenever you want. But in the vast majority of cases, people can't live alone. Your existence incurs costs on others. Specifically, you're alive because someone else spent money to keep you that way. Until those debts are paid, letting yourself die would be pretty damn selfish, don't you think?
つまり、人が生きてなくてはいけない理由は、返済期間が終わるまでは、自分の命は借り物だからってこと？
That's one way of looking at it. My way of looking at it is a lot more free. But, I guess I can't really say what Yuji's saying is entirely wrong. Because to some degree, I also agree with what he's saying. Somehow, this Michiru has managed to drag me into a truly cryptic conversation. It feels like I'm struggling to complete a puzzle with no possible solution. If there's some point to her questions, it completely eludes me. Human beings are too full of themselves. That's the only reason they worry about questions with no answer. Like the meaning of life. Every other animal is concerned with the struggle of their daily existence and very little else. We really shouldn't be any different. Where did this ridiculous ego come from anyway? Things probably went off track back when we first started picking up rocks and hitting each other with them.
なんだかよくわかんないな。あんまり面白い話でもないし。
Then why are you asking the question? Good for you. I quit. This pointless conversation is officially over. I'm going back to the dorm.
わかった。私はここにもう少しいる。またね、ユージ君。
I turned my back on Michiru, resolved to cut off this unproductive debate. But after a few steps, I come to my senses. This isn't exactly a satisfying conclusion. I was just teased into ignominious retreat by a cheeky little girl. I turned back and faced Michiru once more. The black cat, apparently startled by my motion, leaps off Michiru's lap and bolts away through the tall grass. Michiru looks perfectly fine now, but at school she was pressing her hand to her chest and grimacing in pain. That wasn't the first time I've seen it happen, and by some strange coincidence, the previous case also occurred after someone brought up the topic of best friends. The instant Michiru heard those words, her health deteriorated dramatically. It was the same today. That may not be all there is to this, but at the very least, it should be the key that leads me to an answer.
ユージ君、どうかしたの？
セーブしますか？
Well, I am going to her route. So I assume I want to ask her something, right? Michiru, I want to ask you something.
何？英方向の求め方？それとも国語辞典の426ページに何が書いてあるか？
If you actually know what word is on the page 426 of the Japanese dictionary, I would be pretty surprised. None of the above. I want to know if you have a best friend. I carefully state my inquiry, watching Michiru's face intently. I expected some sort of telling reaction, but there don't seem to be any results worth mentioning. Michiru thinks the matter over for a moment. The casual expression on her face suggests a woman pondering her dinner menu.
ねえ君、なんでそんなこと聞くの？
Because you're avoiding the topic. Whenever the conversation shifts to friendship, best friends in particular, you immediately begin to act strangely. Thought it might have some connection to your sudden illness.
なるほどね。確かに避けてもおかしくはないと思う。でも避けてるのは私じゃない。私の考えを言わせてもらえば、親友なんて必要ない。だってお友達はみんなお友達でしょ。その中で誰が一番かなんて順位付けをするのが正しいことだとは到底思えないもの。
I agree with you to some degree, but we are humans and we always judge people in according to ranks. You might want to say that, Michiru, but there's no way that's how the real world works. I'm sorry, there's also no way you'd be able to put your friends on the same level. There would always be a friend that you would prefer over the other. Just like how you would prefer your family over your friend, or vice versa, if you're not really having a good place in your family. It's just how we as humans work. I'm sorry, but you're thinking about wishful thinking.
それに君の考えに従えば、どうせ死んだら最後は一人になってしまう。それなら特別仲のいい人なんて作りたくない。悲しいだけじゃない。
That's not wrong. But humans are social creatures. You might just want to die by yourself, but isn't that like a sad life? Well, that's my perspective. If you're the one that's experiencing this and you don't think that you have a sad life, don't make what I say as like something that's attacking you. I consider that life a sad life, but if you don't consider it a sad life, it's your own thing. Don't care about what I say. That's a pretty pessimistic way of looking at it.
そうじゃない。現実的なんじゃないかな。
Alright. I understand your thinking on the matter. I'll be heading back now. This time, I'm fully ready to take my leave. But apparently, Michiru's unsatisfied with this conclusion, as she immediately calls out to stop me.
待ってよ。君の話も聞かせてくれる？
Sorry, what about me?
だから私に聞いたことと同じこと。君には親友はいるの？
Can't say I have anyone I could confidently describe that way.
じゃあ恋人は？
Don't have one of those either. Why are you asking?
いないんだ。君ってモテそうだけど、なんでいないんだろうね。ずっといないの？
Why do you...
どんな理由でそんな質問をするんだ？それは私は恋人を作ったことがないから、恋人という存在がどんなものか興味があるのよ。
I see. So this is what they call idle curiosity.
キスはしたことある？
Yes.
ねえねえ、キスってどんなの？やっぱり気持ちいいの？簡単に言うと、どう？
I have not kissed anyone, so I wouldn't know. Well, technically, I've kissed my best friend back in high school during an event. It was a guy-on-guy kiss with like tongues sticking into each other. I don't know. I guess without the feelings attached, it's basically just mouth on mouth, tongue on tongue. Nothing really special. Out of respect for your admirable attempt at brevity, I'll keep my answer simple as well. A kiss is a moment of contact between two sets of mucous membranes.
それは簡単すぎる気がする。わかんないからしてみてもいい？
Not particularly, I suppose.
ありがとう。では。
Michiru rises up on tiptoe and draws her face close. Without a moment's hesitation, she presses her mouth to mine. Our moist mucous membranes softly adhere to each other. Apparently concerned about knocking her nose against mine, Michiru tilts her face slightly to one side. A tuft of blonde hair brushes against my cheek, tickling my nose with the citrusy scent of her shampoo. Michiru runs her tongue over her lips and creases her brow thoughtfully.
やってみてもわかんないな。
That's a shame. But would you mind telling me why you suddenly...
ちょっと待って。ごめんね。またね、ユージ君。
Say what? Are you going somewhere? Explain yourself. Michiru? That you?
おお近い何近い何よあんた急に目の前に現れて近すぎるのよ危うくキスするとこだったじゃない危ないわね
How exactly should I interpret this? Seems we're back to the old Michiru. Yo, long time no see. Glad to see you're doing well. I was somewhat concerned.
別にあんたに心配してもらわなくてもいいわよ。私変なこと言ってなかった。
Anything strange? Have you ever said anything that wasn't?
キーブもあんたね失礼にも程があるのですけど。
Oh, settle down. I do want an explanation of all this, but I suppose it can wait. You're tired, aren't you? Let's head back to the school.
話ってどういうことよ。あんたになんて何も話してあげないんですからね。
Yes, fine. I'm going to leave you behind now.
待ちなさいよユージ。おかえり。大丈夫だった？私は全然大丈夫よ。むしろユージが大丈夫じゃないぐらいだわ。
The girl speaks truth. I'm somewhat exhausted at present.
それは珍しいわね。でもちゃんと連れて帰ってくるなんてやっぱりユージはしっかりしてるわね。
It wasn't exactly easy. I hope this is sufficient to satisfy you, Amane.
もちろんよ。オゲーなのよ。お兄ちゃんならやってくれると信じていたのよさ。心配かけて悪かったわね。でも悪いなんて思ってないんだからね。
みちる様は何も思わなくていいですよ。何も考えず何も感じずただただ呼吸を繰り返してくださいね。
Okay.
そうね、自由に生きる、それが松島みちるスタイル。サチも私のことを分かってきたよね。
それがスタイルですね。はいスタイル。
ものすごくあしらわれてる気がするんだけど。
そうでしょうか。みちる様を肯定させていただいたのですが。
Well, she might have been brushing you off, but you can't deny she did it with an admirably light touch.
ならいいわ。軽くなら問題なし。これが重くだったら絶対に許してなかったけどね。はい、許した。
許されました。ありがとうございます。
それじゃあ私は部屋に戻るわよ。あまね私も行くから待って。
それでは私も失礼させていただきます。
私も部屋で一休みとしゃれ込もうかしらね。
Michiru, are you really alright?
大丈夫よ。私の心は広いのよ。サチに何か言われたぐらいで落ち込んだりしないわ。
That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about your physical health.
それはまあもう大丈夫よ。慣れてるから。
I see.
何よ。あんたね、もうあんなに近くに来たらダメだからね。
You're the one who approached me.
そんなわけないでしょ。クソハキは泥棒の始まりなんだからね。
Michiru, my friend, I think you might have meant deceit.
うるさいわね。
嘘つきは泥棒の始まり、嘘吐きは泥棒のさらなる始まりなのよ、この泥棒。
She's saying like thief. I don't know what that means actually, but okay. Her incoherent babbling apparently concluded for the moment. Michiru stalks off. There have always been things about the girl I found hard to understand, but today her incomprehensibility reached new heights. I think I'm going to have to keep an eye on her from now on. But yeah, as you can see, this is definitely a point where I think like the old me isn't very comfortable about this sort of topic, but we'll see. We'll see how this progresses. The girl told me our world is a box. In childhood, everyone's convinced that snow white wings are budding on their back. We tell ourselves, someday I'll fly away from here to some strange and wonderful place. We think that by going where we want to go, we'll magically become the person we want to be. But in reality, there's nowhere else to go, and no feathers to lift us out of the dust. When we finally realize this, it's hard to overstate how bitter a disappointment it is. Maybe you yourself remember what adolescent feeling of powerlessness and futility. Why was I born in the first place? Why do I have to die? That's just how the world works, of course. But we're too fragile and self-centered to accept that. We spend years muttering to ourselves, I'm different from the rest. I have to be. When that delusion gives way under the weight of our own mediocrity, we cling next to the thought, somebody will take me away from here. Some special existence will swoop down and pluck me out of this ugly, petty, right? Tedious world. Maybe I can't fly, but someone who can will carry me off to the promised land. I have never thought this way, but okay. And when that too is revealed to be nothing but an empty fantasy, the box slowly, solemnly slides shut above us. We have our air holes barely sufficient to keep us breathing, but our illusionary freedom shrivels and dies. The sky is an impenetrable lid above us, an impassive ruler that claims our feathers as tribute. That's the world we live in. Class is over and done with for today, but some of us are still hanging around the classroom. Could have just returned to the dorm myself, but I was only a few pages away from finishing a book, so I decided to stay at my desk and indulge. Not a bad story. The book was Chasing the Dragonfly, Volume 3, by Sendo Akira. Having found the Lesser Emperor tucked away in a corner of the city at the end of the Volume 2, I never would have suspected Wataru to end up like this. I'm actually interested in reading some other stuff by this author now, but this book is a badly banged up antique that seems to have passed through half a dozen used bookstores by now. On top of which, the publisher is some company called Chikagindo Books that I've never heard of before. Probably went out of business decades ago. Guess there's no point wasting my time looking.
それ、随分と気に入ったみたいね。
Yeah, pretty decent stuff. Thanks as always.
集中して読んでいたみたいだから。
Did I? I don't know about that.
だって、何度か声をかけたけど、返事しなかったじゃない。
Wait, did I make a mistake and refuse Michiru? I think I might have. Oh no. I see. Guess I got a little too caught up in the book's world. Concentration and imagination are closely linked. As an experiment, you can try memorizing the scene before your eyes, and then recreating it down to the finest detail in your mind. Repeat this, and your ability to focus will gradually improve. There are apparently some people who remember the books they have read as lines of printed type, but that's the exception to the rule. Generally speaking, the scenes you imagine while reading are what stay with you. Personally, I find remembering things I've never actually seen kind of enjoyable. With adequate imagination, you can go anywhere and become anyone. Immersing yourself in that illusionary freedom can make for a nice change of pace from reality. Not to say that I read purely for such practical reasons.
もうこの本の虫どもがもっと動いていこうよ。いや、ユージは動いてるか。よし、ならよし。で、ユミコは運動してんの？
ある程度はしてるわよ。松島さんに心配してもらわなくても大丈夫な程度にはね。
To be honest, Michiru, I'm under the impression you exercise less than anyone else in this room. Even Amane put some effort into keeping up that figure, you know?
わっかねー。私はね、もうすっごい運動できますからね。別にいいのよしなくて。わかる？
Yeah, sure, whatever, Michiru.
いつもそう言うけど、実際にその運動能力が発揮されたのを見たことがないけど。
もしかしてあんた疑ってるっていうの？仕方ないわね。じゃあどこからでも攻撃してきなさい。私が見事に全て避け。
Before Michiru can even finish her sentence, Sakaki thrusts out an arm with no windup. Her empty fist, clenched as if holding an imaginary box cutter, comes to an abrupt halt, an inch before Michiru's face. Not half bad for an amateur. If she had been trying to kill, there'd already be a blade stuck right between Michiru's eyes. Well, that's game.
あらよ。
A good half second after the outcome settled, Michiru leans her upper body backward a little. I don't think I've ever seen a backward sway quite this sluggish before. Does the girl have anemia or what?
どうユミコ、完全に避けたわよ。
I've seen better, to be honest. To be even more honest, I don't think I've ever seen worse. A perfect failure, one might say. A fight hinges on your ability to formulate split-second tactics, but Michiru is so incompetent that she didn't even recognize the danger she was in. Such utter obliviousness is almost charming. Sorry, but I think this match is settled. A bit of a stretch to even call it a match.
でしょ？顔にパンチが当たる直前に避けるこの判断力、そして恐るべきスピード。私ってば今日も完璧だわ。
This girl doesn't even seem to realize Sakaki was taking it easy on her. I think she may need to learn her place. Sakaki, let's try that again. And this time, don't stop. I authorize you to hit her.
だけど、今の見てたでしょ？
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm saying this.
そう。
ふふふ、いつでも来なさいよね。私が完璧。あだは。
Michiru probably doesn't even know what hit her. She closed her eyes reflexively at the sharp jab of pain in her forehead. And before they opened again, Sakaki already brought her arm back to its previous position. From Michiru's perspective, there's no evidence that Sakaki even moved. The bottle blonde stares uncomprehendingly at her foe, trying to understand how she was attacked. A splendid poke to the forehead.
なんか道具使った？電気的な機械のようなもの。
いいえ、そんなものは持っていないわ。
じゃあ叩いたの？いつ？もう一回やってみて。だってユミコズルしたでしょ。はい、もう一回。なんか腹水出た。
Give it up before you get a concussion. I don't need you getting KO'd by flicks to the head.
これは素手による攻撃とかじゃなくて、鼻水が出る呪い的なものをかけただけよ。だって何もされてないもん。
もう帰っていいかしら。
ふふふふ、自分の負けを認めたわね。ユミコ、破れたり。
なんですって。
あ、榊さん。
Oh, sorry, I thought she was then.
負けました。ははは、どうもー。来た。もう去った。
Yes, that she is.
どりゃー。ふっ、インチキしたくせに。ペッペ。私負けてないからね。ねえ、ユージ、ユミコってばインチキしてたよね。
Well, let's see. She was pulling her punches pretty severely, so you could hardly call that a legitimate competition. Cheating in a broad sense of the word, I suppose.
でしょー。ねえ、インチキだよね。すっげえな。後ろから襲ってやるじゃん。
This girl has a few screws loose for sure, man. Is that your idea of playing fair?
目には目を、埴輪がワオでしょ。 と今のは私おどけしすぎたわね。
Oh, you're aware. Take it down a notch, why don't you? No need to try so hard.
普通だわよ。無理なんてしてませんプンスカドン。
The fuck? Punskadon, eh? Something like a mastodon, perhaps? In that case, would the Punska in question be some famous paleontologist? I don't know what some of those words even mean, but okay.
そんなわけないでしょ。
Oh, if it isn't Amanu, were you listening in? I was just trying a little comedy of my own.
わかってるわよ。何が九段のプンスかよ。ユージってたまにそういう変な面を見せるわよね。いろいろな意味でドキッとする。
That's not a compliment, is it? I get the message.
けなしてもいないけどさ。それにしてもミチルは相変わらずね。元気というかバカというか。
True. That's just the way she...
キスはしたことある？
Okay, guess I am in a route now. Good, good,
あ
good.
れユージどうかしたの？
All of a sudden, I recall my recent kiss with Michiru. It was so abrupt, and she seemed so unconcerned about it after the fact. I could almost believe the whole thing was just a dream.
ねえユージ、おーい聞こえてますか？もしもーし。
Oh, sorry. But I'm honestly less interested in the kiss itself than the other Michiru that delivered it. The Michiru I spoke with on the high ridge wasn't the Michiru I know. That wasn't just an unusual mood or something. She was acting like an entirely different person.
ユージくんってばー。おーい。
But since then, Michiru's been the same as always. I doubt anything will come from pursuing it.
おーい。おーい。ジューシーユージ。
Hmm? What's wrong?
どうしたはこっちのセリフでしょ。急に黙り込んだりして。
Just thinking about something.
ほうほう。もしかしてミチルちゃんのことが気になるのかな？
Yeah, I guess. A little.
そうなんだ。ふースクワー
What is wrong with you, girl?
ツンデレキングミチル三の城で呼んだ。
No. No, it did not.
私だって呼んでないんだからね。
Yes, I know. You don't need to get combative over every little thing.
張り合ってません。どこが張り合ってるっていうのさ。それでしょ張り合ってるって。ねえねえユージがミチルのこと気になるんだってさ。どういうことだろうね。気になる？何よユージミチルの何なのさ。
Don't worry about it. I did say something to that effect, but it's not anything worth getting worked up about.
でもそれ気になるもん教えなさいよね。ビシッ。
Okay, bye.
ちょっと。
Deciding it best to withdraw before the situation takes a turn for the troublesome, I quickly leave the classroom behind.
ちょっと待ちなさいよね。あんた人に言いたいことがあるならはっきり言えばいいじゃない。
I have nothing to say. The end.
ちょっと。
Seems like the troublesome ship has already sailed. Sheer carelessness on my part. Women are, as a general rule, natural-born gossipers. I should not have given Amane anything to work with.
あんた歩くのは。
Man, you're slow.
ちょっと待ちなさい。
Alright. Doubt she chased me this far.
あんたなんでそんなに逃げるのよ。疲れちゃうでしょ。
You didn't have to follow me, you know?
だって気になるじゃない。あんた私に何かありそうだし。
Well, if she's this determined, running around to escape would be troublesome in its own right. Suppose I could try being honest. For the moment, I look into Michiru's face and carefully observe her expression, looking for anything suggestive of the other girl's presence.
何ですか？
But my friend from the ridge seems to be out of the house at present. This right here is definitely the normal Michiru.
何よ？言いたいことがあれば言いなさいよね。
She ineptly attempts a harsh-toned bluff, counterproductively drawing attention to the fundamental weakness of spirit she's trying to hide. And she clearly doesn't even realize I've seen through her. Textbook Michiru.
あんたね、女の子の顔をジロジロ見るのは明確なルール違反よ。ジネーブ条約第6条にも引っかかるわよ。
Sure, whatever, Michiru. Do you even know what the Geneva Convention is? Please concisely explain what the Geneva Convention is.
それはこれでしょ。そのジュネーブさんが考えた貴重な動物が絶滅しないように輸入などを制限するやつでしょ。6条が亀についてでしょ。
Okay, Michiru. I think you're talking about the Washington Convention. Either way, what exactly does your face have to do with the international trade in endangered tortoises?
うるさいわね。そもそもね、なんで見てるのよ。私の顔に何かついてるってな。
Come to think of it, I've been focusing exclusively on the girl's expression and the tone of her voice. Might have overlooked some revealing physical change. Shifting my focus, I resume my scrupulous observation of Michiru's face.
なぜ黙ったし。
Even as I lean in to extremely short range, Michiru makes no effort to flee. Probably her stubborn pride as a tsundere at work. True, the girl's breathing a little roughly through her nose, and her eyes are darting around frantically. But by Michiru's standards, she's managing to keep it together. I see. Is there something on your face?
チェックしろって意味ではないわよ。
Michiru's the same as always. However, I have made a discovery that seems of some potential interest. Kind-hearted individual that I am, I decide to share my findings with the girl. Alright, my observations are complete. There's nothing on your face. Your skin is clean, smooth, and youthful, as one might expect of a teenage girl. I didn't detect dirt, and rusted bits of food, or any other blemishes of external origin. There is, of course, a possibility you're infested with face mites, but that's impossible to determine with the naked eye.
何よその言い方。そうでしょ。何もないのよ。私ちゃんと毎日顔洗ってるし。
However, you do have a bit of a mustache. Calm yourself. It's only a little peach fuzz. Stands out a bit at very close range. In any case, there's no truth to the old wives' tale about shaving making it grow back heavier. So deal with it as you wish.
あんたね、そういうのは女の子には直接言わないものなのよ。
You're the one who asked if there was something on your face. I just answered the question.
うるさいわね。そもそもね、産毛はウブなんだからあんま見ちゃいけないのよ。このウブの子にどうするつもりよ。
Don't let it get to you. Nobody's going to laugh at a young woman just because she has a little hair under her nose. Even if you drink a big glass of milk and end up with a bright white mustache, I'll wipe it clean for you like any halfway decent person would. Only a grade schooler would mock you for something like that.
気にしなくていいって言っても気になるわ。そんなこと言われたの生まれて初めてだもん。もう絶対いつか復讐してやる。背後から襲ってやる。
I was trying to be considerate, but it seems I've somehow managed to earn Michiru's enmity. As always, cross-gender diplomacy can be neatly summarized with the phrase, pain in the ass. No reason to work yourself into a frenzy. I wasn't just trying to tease you, alright? I had a reason for observing you.
何よ言って何なのよ。聞いてあげるから言いなさいよ。
I don't mind, but I doubt you'd be of much help. Can't say I really understand the situation that well myself.
何 何？あんた何言ってんのかよくわかんないんだけど。
That's so. Well, I'm equally baffled by you, Michiru. I've come to think of you as something of a mysterious woman.
そんな風に言わなくても。まあまあおしゃなはいいから早く本題に入っていいのよ。
Better. You seem to be misunderstanding something here. Anyway, long story short, I don't understand what you did to me. It seemed completely unlike you.
何？今までの私からはってどういうこと？気になるじゃない。ちゃんとわかるように言いなさいよ。
Michiru draws closer, visibly unsettled by my choice of words. I wasn't trying to imply anything in particular, but maybe I hit a sore spot. I don't know if spelling it out is going to make this any less incomprehensible, but I'm talking about what you did to me the other day.
先日ユージにしたこと？私になんかした？
So you don't remember? Kind of suspected as much.
何よ？覚えてるもん。しましたしました、はいはい、確かにね、しましたよね。で、何を？
We went to first base, so to speak. You insisted.
接吻？はあ？してないわよ。ねえ、なんでそんなお侍さんみたいなことするの？私が何の目的で？どういうこと？
I think she's probably taking first base a little too literally. But I'd feel so ridiculous actually explaining the metaphor that I decided to let her figure it out for herself. How would I know why? You're the one who started the whole thing, not me.
なんかしたのかな。いや、してないよな。わかんない。どんな風にやったの？ちょっと再現してみせて。
Look, you're going to regret this. Listen carefully. When I say first base, I mean...
もう、私のことバカにするんでしょ。10分ぐらい知ってるわよ。ぐさうえうぎゃーってやつでしょ。
Man. I don't know, Michiru.
ちょっとね、いくらなんでも知ってますよ、それぐらい。テレビジョンで見たことありますよ。
I don't think you do, Michiru. Look, it's a meta...
黙って。だからね、そうやって細かい間違いを指摘しないの。だいたい合ってればいいんだから。 80% ぐらい合ってるでしょ。だったらそれでいいの。
She said I'm like 80% right? Whatever, man. No ballparks were involved. You're not even in the right time zone.
そんなわけないでしょうが。ちょっとやってみなさいよ。どこが違うか私が見てあげるから。
You want me to show you first base? Like we did the other day? I really don't...
いいからいいから。よいよ。いいからほらやってみなさい。私がユージにやったというその接吻とやらを。
Alright then. If you insist, I'll give you a little demonstration. Clearing my throat, I approach Michiru.
ふむふむ、再現してもらおうじゃないか。ちょっと近すぎじゃない？なんで接吻するのにそんなに近づくの？
We can't do that from a distance, you know. That's sort of how it works.
ああ、そうよね。何しろ接吻だものね。それで私がどうしたって？
This. Holding Michiru's chin steady between my thumb and index finger, I press my lips against hers. It's the same kind of abrupt kiss she gave me the other day. I don't think there was any tongue involved back then, so I keep things simple. Michiru stares at me from point-blank range, an expression of blank incomprehension on her face. This isn't really a romantic thing, so I keep my eyes open as well. Maybe it would have been better manners to shut them. Well, whatever. Hardly matters. After a moment, I slowly pull back. Our lips cling together for a brief, reluctant moment, then part with a small smack. So ends our second visit to first base. There you go. First base.
あの、あふえ
This is what you did to me the other day. I don't understand why that happened, and I'm getting the idea you don't either, right? Allow me to explain after the fact. First base is a common metaphor for kissing. Baseball had nothing to do with it. Any questions? Go ahead then. No questions after all? Alright then, dismissed. Return to your post. I'm not sure myself what her post is supposed to be, but I guess that's a wrap for the moment. This is about Michiru, I assume. Don't worry about it. It's your everyday case of temporary insanity.
そうなのですか。何か強いショックを受けたのでしょうか。
Yeah, but it's nothing to get too...
全く同じ場所で同じバケツに足をかけて転んでる。
I didn't think she'd be this badly shocked. Now I feel a little bad.
風見さん、みちる様に悪いことしたんですか？悪いことはいけないと思います。万引きですか？万引きをなさったんですか？万引きは悪いことです。
Why are you so adamant about me shoplifting, Sachi? Well, no. She's the one who asked me to do it, so this is ultimately her fault.
万引きをですか？みちる様は悪いですね。
It's not shoplifting, Sachi. Listen to what I'm saying. Shoplifting wasn't involved.
では何を？
A little visit to first base.
接吻？接吻とはキスのことでしょうか？みちる様がそれを望まれたんですか？
No, but she did ask me to do it.
なかなか難しいお話ですね。少し理解するのに時間がかかりそうです。
I imagine so. I don't understand it myself currently.
風見さんが理解できないなら私には到底無理そうです。はい。
Okay then. See you later, I guess.
はい。みちる様がこぼした水を拭き取ってまいります。
Judging from that reaction, Michiru doesn't have much romantic experience. There's a good chance that was the girl's second first kiss. Considering her age, it'd be a little on the late side. But everyone in this school has their circumstances. Probably doesn't make sense to measure them against typical standards. I don't know about that, Yuji. I'm 25 right now, and I don't think I've ever had this so-called first kiss. Other than that fact that I was doing it with my best friend for that event.
みちる様がまた同じバケツでしっかりなさってください。
Looks like I'll have to prepare for the possibility this develops into PTSD. Guess Michiru might actually have been a bit of a sheltered princess. Oh hey, you alright? Didn't pick up on this earlier, but maybe you're imitating a sports car engine. One of those prancing horses. Ignoring my attempt at lightening the mood, Michiru silently retrieves her canister of ramen candies from the shark pouch around her waist, then pours out a huge pile onto her palm. Hey, that seems like a little much. It's like you're eating sand. You alright there, Michiru? Michiru abruptly sprays great gobs of half-chewed candy, vaguely resembling rotten chunks of tofu, out of her mouth. Did no one ever teach this girl to value her food? Michiru, my friend, it seems that you ate too much at once. I don't think you should give her a rag, Sachi.
さいよ、気持ち悪いよ。
I would imagine so. Why don't you take it easy for a while? Sachi, I'll leave the rest to you.
はい、かしこまりました。では行きますよ、みちる様。はい、雑巾。
Okay, Sachi.
ありがとう。臭いよ。
And so, Michiru and I learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of overeating. Not that either of us were particularly happy about it. Well, that was a very weird encounter. Have you ever made an irreparable mistake? You know, done something that can't be undone? Doesn't have to be anything particularly dramatic. Maybe you hit a line drive into the neighbor's window as a kid. Good enough. Remember that crushing moment of dread? That sense of hopelessness? I don't think I'm ever going to feel that way again. It's not that I don't make mistakes. I've simply come to realize that every problem has its solutions. When you break someone's window, you just apologize. If that's not enough, you compensate them for the damage. Either way, if you're tactful enough to send over a box of pastries and an apologetic note afterward, there probably won't be any hard feelings. If you happen to run into someone who isn't so easily placated, I think that's the word, there are countless alternative ways of resolving the situation. Sure, these things end up costing you little in the short term, but if you handle it properly, there won't be any lasting repercussions. And once you get the knack of solving problems, you'll find yourself anticipating them ahead of time. So the door you need open is fastened shut with torque screws. Hardly anything to panic over. Just twist it out with your wrench. Plan a few moves ahead and you'll have a lot less stress in general. It's not nearly as hard as it sounds, it just takes a little experience. I mean, theoretically, that's true, Yuji, but sometimes the world is not that easy. On the downside, once you have the insight necessary to predict the future, you'll never be able to watch a Rube Goldberg machine in innocent amazement again. What is that? But on the whole, I found that an acceptable trade-off. Not to say that I have all the answers. Every once in a while, I do find myself at a loss for a coping strategy. More often than not, this is the direct result of interaction with those highly unpredictable variables known as women. Well, that was a weird monologue into the next day. I guess Yuji was monologuing after that encounter with Michiru. The beginning of summer vacation brings a slightly different atmosphere to the Mahama Academy campus. Our residents may not be the most uniformly diligent students in the world, but I suppose attending class is still a bit stressful. With the burdens of academic expectations temporarily lifted, everyone seems noticeably relaxed. Unfortunately, there's a but here. A problem I never saw coming. Not to make this sound more dramatic than it is, it's not like a butterfly flapped its wing in Brazil and launched a tornado in my direction. No, it's a much simpler situation. Much simpler. But unfortunately, no less of a pain in the ass. I'm lounging around the lobby sofa one morning when Sakaki walks up and clears her throat. Seems as though the time's finally come. I turn to face her, carefully establishing steady eye contact.
風見くん、あなたに一つ確認しておきたいことがあるんだけど。
Yeah, not a problem. Ask whatever you want.
少しだけ言いにくいことなんだけど、いいかしら。
Judging from Sakaki's uncharacteristic hesitation, this is actually significantly more awkward for her than it is for me. After running a hand through her hair several times, she finally manages to move on.
夏休みに入る前に何かしなかった？
Do something. Could you be more specific? I'm always doing something. Breathing, digesting food, performing basic metabolic functions. But somehow, I don't think that's what you want to know.
そう。あなたも自分で分かってるはずよ。
Maybe, but I can't provide an accurate answer without knowing exactly what you're getting at.
それならはっきり言うけど、松島さんのことで確認したいことがあるの。
Thought as much. Honestly, I'm surprised it took this long for one of the others to say something. Ever since that day, Ichiro's been acting very strangely around me.
何かしたの？してないならあんなことにはならないわよね。
I suppose. Yeah, you could say I did something to her.
それが何かは教えてはくれないの？
I don't mind telling you, but I'd recommend not launching any silly investigations. It's not going to help anyone.
分かってる。私だって必要以上に嗅ぎ回るつもりはない。逆の立場だったら不愉快だろうし。ただ、何があったのかを。
We kissed.
知りたかったの？何があっても驚かん。
Sakake's tense expression instantly crumbles. Guess she wasn't quite prepared for anything after all. Her mouth hangs open like a nutcracker with a broken hinge. What's with that face? You're putting your beauty to waste. Better be careful or you might get auctioned off as a lesser work of Munch.
いや、その、なんて。
I kissed Michiru. For a certain period of time, our mucous membranes came into contact. You do know what a kiss is, I assume.
キス？なんでキスなの？あなたたち付き合ってるの？
Talk about old-fashioned. It's just a kiss, right? Do a man and a woman need to be in a relationship to mash their lips together when the whim strikes them? Or maybe you're going to start marching in outlaw premarital sex rallies now. No doubt blushing daintily all the way. If you're in need of a placard to express your virginal ideals, you can grab that sign from the campus gardens. It's already got "Please don't pick the flowers" printed on the front, so you won't even need to alter it.
ふざけないで。なんでそんなことしたのって聞いてるの。
Settle down, Sakaki. There were no sugary sweet developments of the sort you're imagining. It was just a reflex test. A kind of experiment almost. Nothing to get yourself worried about.
反射？キスの実験？そんなことってある？
Maybe it's hard to believe, but sometimes a kiss doesn't mean anything on the emotional level.
私が口を出す問題ではないと思うけど、一応忠告しておくわ。あなたは感情が伴っていないと思ってるかもしれないけど、松島さんはそうじゃないかもしれないわよ。
I'll take that under advisement.
ちゃんと責任取った方がいいと思うけどね。
With those words, Sakaki leaves the lobby behind, shaking her head in bemusement. Again with this responsibility business. Amani said something similar not too long ago, come to think of it. Seems men are expected to take responsibility for quite a wide range of things these days. Hell, if one of these girls caught me throwing a chewed up piece of gum in the garbage can, I'd probably become public enemy number 1. I'll have to practice letting my candy down gently as to avoid general condemnation. Sorry for tossing you aside like that, but our relationship was never meant to last. Don't think badly of me, frozen apple mint. No matter how much time we spent together, it's all bland and flavorless now. The sweet early days will never return.
お兄ちゃんがおかしくなったのよさ。噛んだガムと会話してる。これはかなり来ちゃってる気がするのよ。あわわ。
Didn't notice you there, Machina. Do me a favor and forget you saw that, alright? I was just amusing myself. There wasn't even any gum in there. Just a little joke. You understand?
ああ、冗談か。冗談な。私も好きだぞ。あれだろ。ガムはガムみたいなやつな。
Machina, my friend. Are you aware that effective punnery involves more than randomly mashing together words that sound alike?
知らない。でも面白いのよ。ガムはガム。
Try repeating it 1,000 times. Maybe I'll be able to crack a smile.
はい。何を1000回聞けばよろしいのですか？
Not for you, Sachu.
ガムはガム。
1回、
ガムはガム。
2回。
ガムはが飽きた。
もう？マキちゃん、あと998回残ってるけど、どうする？
サッチンに任したのよさ。
じゃあ続けておくね。ガムはガム。
Damn you, Sachi! Don't do this!
ところでお兄ちゃん、チルチル見なかった？さっきこの辺りにいたんだけど。
Michiru? Don't know. Why don't you try calling for her and see if she comes running?
チルチル！チルチル！ふん、あんたに呼ばれたから来たわけじゃないんだからね。
Michiru's opening words are delivered with the usual powerful tsundere spirit, but after noticing me, her tone rapidly slides down the scale into timid. By the end of the sentence, her voice is only barely audible.
みちる様、どうされたんですか？体調が悪いのですか？ガムはガム。
ガムはガムに決まってるじゃない。それに私は元気よ。何の問題もないわ。シキン。
You can stop now, Sachi.
それはよかったのよさ。ねえねえチルチル、新ギャグ考えた。パインがパインパイン。そうなのよさ、パインパイン。あんたのダジャレなんて面白くないんだからね。でも後でちょっと笑ってあげてもいいのよ。
Makina doesn't seem to understand the concept of a pun particularly well.
あ、そうですね。
ガムはガム、ガムはガム。
Sachi! Stop, damn you! Damn you, woman!
何よ、文句でもあるっていうの。
Someone stop her, you fools! She's still saying it in the background!
お兄ちゃんに対するチルチルの態度が変なような気がするのよさ。はあ？そんなわけないでしょ。私はいつもこんな調子で楽しくやらせてもらってるでございますけども。
Can someone stop her? Damn you people! Just like what exactly?
あ、はい。こんな調子ですよ。はい。今日のチルチル、やっぱり変なのよ。そうかな、そんなことないと思うけど。
Seems pretty obvious that my presence is posing an obstacle to smooth communication. Deciding it best to withdraw for the moment, I silently rise from the couch. Stop, Sachi, damn you people!
あれ、お兄ちゃんどこか行くの？
My presence seems to be bothering Michiru. Thought I'd give you guys some space.
はあ？バカじゃないの？あんたなんて全然気にしてないから、そんなことしなくていい。いいわよ。
You sure about that?
あ、はい。本当です。
This is how it's been lately. Not to state the obvious, but ever since that second kiss, Michiru's been acting strangely self-conscious around me. Might sound vaguely romantic, but it's more like she's keeping a wary distance.
とにかくあんたね、どっか行かなくていいわよ。ここにいなさい、早き。
I see. Alright then.
それとサッチはガムガムうるさい。黙りなさい。
Thank you, Michiru.
ガムが、はい。そうよ、そうしてね。それじゃあ。
Michiru walks off, stiffly swinging her left arm in unison with her left leg, her right arm with her right leg. Objectively speaking, the girl seems to be 2 steps away from a downright panic attack. Wonder how our younger friends are taking all this.
みちる様、何かあったのかな？飛脚の真似かな？
Kakoi?
どうしたの？マキちゃん。
かっこいい。何あれ、すんげえ斬新な歩き方なのよさ。サッチ、真似するよ。
Perambulating? What the hell is that, Makina?
真似？わかった。
じゃあ左手と左足から。歩く時も止まる時も左足からは基本なのよさ。はい、次反対。
マキちゃん、これ歩きにくいね。
見た目がかっこいいからそれぐらい我慢するのよさ。あ、サチン、その歩き方すっごいサイボーグっぽい動きなのよ。いいよ、その動きいいよ。
そうかな。
What the fuck?
我々は。
Stop that, Sachi.
これは宇宙人なのよさ。
あ、そっか。難しいね、サイボーグって。私、この世で一番サイボーグとかけ離れた存在だから。
なあサッチン、今思ったんだけど、湯豆腐とサイボーグって親戚？
それは血縁関係があるかってこと？調べてみないとわからないな。
でも似てるね。じゃあ高野豆腐とミートボールは？きっと両方食べ物。ああ、そっか、食べ物な。食べ物好き、食べられるから。じゃあミートボールとトーク上手は？上手？もしかしてそれサメの話？
No, Sachi, she's not. Damn you! Damn you, God!
え、サメの話なんてしてないのよさ。どうしたのサッチン？
She just likes sharks, Machina. She just likes sharks, damn it. I still haven't gone to IKEA and buying like that shark plushie. The only IKEA here is like in the next city over, so it's like I don't really have anything to do in the next city. Maybe sometime soon, TM.
なんでもない。
Damn you! Now she's disappointed, damn it. Seems I didn't need to worry on that front. Makina's completely distracted by that avant-garde way of walking. And as usual, Sachi was roped into playing along. These two don't seem particularly concerned about Michiru's behavior, but there's a certain busybody who probably won't take such a carefree attitude. What's up, Amane? I'm getting the sense you might have something you want to say to me.
その通り。どうしたじゃないわよ。自分でも分かってるくせに。ミチルの様子がおかしいの。ユージが原因らしいじゃない。
I suppose I can't deny that, but there's not much I can do about it.
そんなことない。ユージが何かしたんなら自分で責任取りなさい。それが男ってものでしょ。
Lord, again with the responsibility?
だって明らかにミチルの様子は変よ。喧嘩したなら仲直り。そうじゃなくても仲直り。分かった？どうせ二人とも意地っ張りなんだから、男の子のユージが先に謝りなさい。
Fine, fine. At this rate, my tranquil school days seem likely to take an unpleasant turn for the tense. I suppose I'll have to take your considerate advice.
もう、皮肉言ってないで早く行ってきなさい。ミチルは部屋にいると思うから。
Understood. Rest assured, I'll resolve this post-haste. Or so I said. But how exactly am I supposed to approach this? The problem's entirely on Michiru's end right now. Somehow or other, I need to get the girl to relax a little. Take care of it, huh? Easy for her to say. But I guess I have to try at this point. Thinking it over isn't going to get me anywhere. Deciding to play things by ear, I head straight for Michiru's room. Michiru! I'd like a word.
何でしょうか。あ、どうしたのよ、その顔は。
Not sure I follow. I think I have a pretty normal look on my face at the moment. Is something out of the ordinary?
何の問題もないわよ。逆になんで何の問題もない普通の顔してるのよ。
Am I not allowed to have a normal expression now? It sounds like a nuisance.
とにかくね、ちょっとその変な感じになるからあんまり近くに来ないで。
You want me to back off then? This far enough?
もうちょっと遠くで。
This far enough?
もうちょっと遠く。
What the fuck? This far enough?
あと一歩。
And so I ended up all the way out here.
ねえ、何してるの？
Just playing around. Pay me no mind.
そう、それならいいけど。
Incidentally, Chizuru, when do you think a man needs to take responsibility?
ちょっと風見くん、まさかうちの子に何かしたわけじゃないわよね。
That I did. However, it didn't involve impregnating them.
なるほど。だったら若いんだし、あとは全部自己責任じゃない？いちいち男の子が責任取ってたら世の中歩きにくいでしょ。
Okay.
土下座姿の男で道路がいっぱいになっちゃうものね。
An interesting argument.
そんなものでしょ。喧嘩両成敗じゃないけどさ、 男女の問題においては責任はどっちにもあるのよ。そう思わないとやってられないしね。
Now, I have a firm belief that if someone truly fucks up, it's only on their side. But for the most part, I do agree that usually when something happens, it's usually both parties' fault. To some degree. You don't say. But I do believe in 100% of someone's fault. If something severe happens. That one seems to have worries of her own. Well then, let's see. What's my next move? In the end, I make the bold and resolute decision to read a book until the heat dies down a bit. At times like these, one might get the impression that I spend every waking moment of the day I possibly can reading. But for the record, I'm not as severe a bookworm as Michiru seems to think. To be sure, I spend an unusually high proportion of my time with books, but I also exercise, listen to music, and watch movies like anyone else. Might be a little hard to believe, but I particularly enjoy the radio. Listening to Rossini through a veil of static resistant to even the most careful dial twiddling adds a certain resonance you won't find anywhere else. Unexpectedly, this time Michiru is the one who approaches me. What's wrong? You want me to take responsibility as well?
責任？いや、そうじゃなくてね。なんだろうね。あんたね。
First she drives me off, now she's following me around. I really wish the girl would make up her mind. I just want to wrap this whole mess up and get things back to normal ASAP.
ねえ、あんたが悪いんだからね。
Yeah, sorry about that.
何それ？どういうこと？
You're talking about what happened the other day, right? That was my bad. Forget it.
忘れるってどういうことよ？
Forget it means forget it. I'd appreciate if you could wipe the whole incident from your memory. That said, I do understand that it's probably going to be a little difficult to pull that off right now.
そうよ。そうに決まってるじゃない。
In that case, just act like you don't remember. We'll pretend it never happened. That should keep the others from squawking at us. I think life will be simpler and easier that way for the both of us. What do you say? Something wrong?
はい、わかったわよ。あんたのことなんて知らないんだからね。本当に知らないんだからね。
Back to the normal tsundere, eh? Glad to see you've cheered up.
あんたバカ。これ疑問形じゃなくて言い切りよ。あんたバカ。
Don't get all worked up. Somebody might come over to see what's going on if you keep shrieking like that. They probably misinterpret your reddened eyes as evidence that I've upset you in some way.
赤くなんてしてないでしょ。
They are actually. Go look in the mirror.
赤くなんてないもん。バカ。
随分と大きな声が聞こえてきてますが、大丈夫でしょうか？
Yeah, no problems. You can go back now.
はい、戻ります。
Well, that's that. Glad to have cleared everything up now.
わかりましたよ。そうしますよーだ。
Nice work, Kazami Yuji. Problem resolved. And so, the curtains drew close on this problem play. My peaceful school life was salvaged from its moment of peril. Or so I'd like to say. But that's not how it turned out. All's well that ends well, yes, but my problems hadn't yet run their course. If anything, they were only getting started. This is like, what, the next day? From above, I hear a strange, warbling scream straight out of a kung fu movie. My first instinct is to suspect a terrorist attack of some sort, but there's nothing in the way of explosions or gunfire, so that seems fairly unlikely. Whatever the case, I clearly need to investigate. Leaving my room, I immediately head for the stairs.
風見さん、天音さんの声がしましたが、レイプでしょうか？
Why a rape, Sachi? Can't deny the possibility, but there's no way to know for sure until we take a look. Let's go investigate.
はい、犯人がまだ潜んでいる可能性がありますので、武器を持っていた方がいいですね。
No, that's going to kill
モーニン
people.
グスターであるとか。
No, not necessary. If you've got the time to even say a mouthful like that, it'd be better spent running to Amani's aid.
お言葉ですが、長い名前の武器といえば、スカンジナビアンスプリッティングアックスの方が有名ではないでしょうか。
This is not something that... this is not something that serious, is it? I'm not sure about categorizing that as a weapon. More of a tool, isn't it? Granted, a fairly dangerous one.
さすが風見さんです。確かにその通りかもしれません。しかし武器としての使用も可能ですよね。なんだか不安になってきました。メーカーのカスタマーサポートに問い合わせる時間はありますか？
Sachi, isn't there something we should be doing right now? Sorry, but there's no time to waste. If you're that curious, send an inquiry to the manufacturer at a later date. It'd probably be a European company though. Think you can write an email in German?
時間はかかるかもしれませんが、学ぶ気はあります。
No time for that. Alright, let's forget the weapon for now. And Germany.
はい、わかりました。武器とドイツのことは忘れます。
Berlin.
他。
Nice work.
天音さんがレイプ犯に無残に服を引きちぎられたことを想定して、何か羽織るものを持っていった方がよろしいでしょうか？
Okay, stop talking and follow me. We'll know soon enough what she needs.
はい。これ何？天音さん、レイプですね。いや違う。これ見て、洗濯機の中にレイプ犯が。
Sachi, stop!
そうじゃなくて、いいから見てよ。はい、確認します。あらら、これは。
I peer over Sachi's shoulder into the open washing machine. It's full of colorful toy cars a few inches in length. A handful would be weird enough, but at a rough estimate, there must be a good 100 of the things in there.
洗濯しようと思ったら、おもちゃの車が中に。申し訳ありません。天音さんに頼まれていた買い物を一時的にここに保管しておいたのでした。ここって洗濯機の中に？そんなわけないですよね。なぜ洗濯機の中におもちゃを保管するんですか？天音さんに品物を渡そうと思ったら、それよりランドリーが汚れているから掃除しておいてと指示を受けたので、ひとまず洗濯機の上に置いたんです。
But why is it inside now? Now that she mentions it, there are indeed a good dozen cardboard boxes stacked on top of the machine. Tell me, Sachi, are these all full of model cars?
はい、そうです。おそらく箱が壊れて中身が洗濯機に落ちちゃったんですね。
Okay, that makes sense.
見てください。他の箱も重みで破れてきて。落ちた！箱が壊れて全部落ちた！
Our washing machine seems to be drowning in toys.
あららららら。まあ、これでこそみたいなところですね。
Amane, my friend, what were you planning on doing with this massive collection of toys?
知らないわよ。私、さっちゃんにこんなの頼んだ覚えないもん。それはどういうことでしょうか。ちゃんと天音さんの言う通りに買い物をしてきたのですが。私はおもちゃの車が欲しいなんて言ってないよね。天音さんはこうおっしゃいました。ミニカー一機がやりたいと。ミニカー一機で気持ちよくなりたいと。そう私に言いつけました。
Huh? A model car riot? Don't think I've heard that phrase before.
はい、私も最初は困惑しましたが、すぐにミニカーを使った一機のことだと分かりました。
1機といえば少なくとも100人からの人が必要です。
I think you're misunderstanding something here, Sachi.
ですからこの小峰措置、まずは100台のミニカーを集めるところからスタートしたのです。その作業は困難を極めました。一口にミニカー100台といっても、そこまで在庫を抱えた玩具店はなかなかありません。おじさま、ミニカーくださいな。100台。5台ならあるよ、お嬢ちゃん。そんな会話の応酬です。しかし、あまねさんがミニカーで悲願の1機をやりたいのであれば、それ相応の数を集めなくてはなりません。私は様々な玩具店に問い合わせ、ありったけのミニカーの在庫を耳かきだから集めました。そしてここにようやく300台の、はい、
300? Damn! That's actually a lot.
いや、私がさっちゃんに頼んだのは耳かきだから。
耳かピ
じゃなくてき、みかき。
耳かき。もしかしてそれは耳を掃除するときに使用するあの耳かきのことでしょうか。
うん。
ミニカー1機でなくて？
でなくて、今まで使ってた耳かきが壊れちゃったから新しい耳かきを頼んだんだけど。
Damn you women! Just stick to one diet. Don't try any diet trends. They're so useless. Stick to a diet that you can eat every day.
まさかそんなアクロバティックな聞き間違いをするなんて。っていうか、ミニカー1機って何？どんな種類の反乱？
これは
All color draining from her face, Sachi begins to quiver like a spastic jellyfish.
大丈夫です。返品すればいいだけですよね、このミニカー。メーカーに在庫なくて、いろいろ探しておみそ、11万円ほどかかりましたが、その返品を。
110,000 yen is quite expensive for sure. For toys. Then again, she did get 300. Amane, my friend. Sachi's face is currently the color of moldy vanilla yogurt. What do you plan to do about this?
さちゃん、ごめんね。私の滑舌が良くなかったんだよ。私が悪かった。
はい、承知いたしました。滑舌ですね。すぐにご用意いたします。
違う、そうじゃなくて。
違うのですか？もう何が正解か。私。
困っちゃうわね。どこかにミニカーが数百台ないかしら。
Just as the crisis seems to be coming to a head, Michiru enters the scene with a blatantly unnatural line of dialogue. Turning her head to take in the horde of model cars now scattered all across the room, she opens her eyes wide.
これ全部ミニカー？まさかこんな偶然。でもこのミニカー必要だからここにあるのよね。どうしましょう。
みちる様、どうしましたか？
それがね、知り合いのミニカーマニアがどうしても明日中にミニカーを300台用意しなくちゃいけないっていうのよ。なんでも夏のミニカー祭りで冷やしミニカーにして配るんだって。でもそんなに都合よくミニカー300台なんてないわよね。どうしましょう。
実は
ごめんねサチ、もう行かなきゃ。私には時間がないの。何しろ300台のミニカーを明日までに用意しなきゃいけないから。
みちる様、ここにあるミニカー、よろしければ使っていただけませんか？
いいの？だってそんな、まるで奇跡。
Man, you suck at this, Michiru. What a complete farce. It's taking a conscious effort to keep my eyes from rolling.
実は
このミニカーは全て返品しようかと思っていたんです。返品だなんてとんでもない。だったら私がいただくわ。はい、喜んで。でもどうしましょう。すぐにでもお礼をしたいけど、私持ち合わせがなくてね。今持っているものといえば、偶然ポシェットに入っているこの耳かきだけ。でもごめんなさいな、私って本当におバカさん。耳かきなんていらないわよね。これはしまっておくわ。みちる、その耳かき私にちょうだい。いいけど、なんで？実はさっちゃんが耳かきとミニカー一機を、いや、これ説明しても意味わからないわね。とにかく耳かきを私がもらうとさっちゃんが喜ぶのよ。なんですって？奇跡再び。わかったわ。じゃあこれあまねにあげるわね。はい、耳かき。みちる様、ありがとうございます。みちる様がいなければもう少しで依頼を果たせないところでした。何言ってるの？私こそありがとう。サチのおかげで夏のミニカー祭り大成功決定ね。冷やしミニカーの屋台に行列ができるのが目に浮かぶわ。はい。
Well, if they're really satisfied with this, I guess I'll keep my mouth shut. But seriously now.
それでは私、お掃除の時間ですので。助かったわ、みちる。ありがとね。だから何がよ、こっちこそ助かったんだからさ。ふん、何よ。まあ助かってもお礼なんて言わないけどね。
Is that really an authentic tsundere attitude? I'm having some doubts.
そうですね。あれれ、何？なんでもないわよ。あまねは黙ってなさい。ちょっとユージと会話してみて。ユージ、こんにちは。
Yeah, hello.
来たわよ。不自然じゃない。何？仲直りできてないの？そんなことないわよ。普通よ、普通。はい、もう一度挨拶。こんにちは。はい、どうも。ユージ、あんたちゃんと謝れって言ったのに。いいのよ、マネだってこういうことじゃないから。みちるこそ黙ってて。今私はユージと話してるの。
Well, if you have some solution to this, I'd honestly love to hear it.
大体何があったかわかんないけどね。女の子、黙ってってば。ごめん、そんなつもりなかったんだけど。ただ、違う、そうじゃなくて私、ごめんね、本当に。私関係ないのに。いいの、そうじゃないの。そうじゃないってば。
Her face contorted with anxiety. Michiru stumbles repetitively over her words. It's painful to watch, but I'm not sure how to intercede. And in the next moment, just to complicate things further, Makina pokes her head into the room.
ねえねえ、どうかしたの？何このミニカー。
Makina, this isn't a good time. Save it for later, alright?
なんで仲間外れにするの？私だってお友達の一人なのよ。マキナ、仲間外れじゃないけど、今はその。あれ、チルチルどうしたの？顔色が悪いのよ。お腹痛いの？どうしたのよ、チルチルってば。
Makina, we're leaving. Stop talking and come with.
うるさい。 うるさい。うるさい、うるさい、うるさい。やだやだやだ。みちる、ちょっと落ち着こうか。私も言い過ぎたし。やだやだやだ、もうやだやだ。何、私のせい？ごめんね、チルチル。どうしよう。
Michiru, are you... For a long moment, Michiru stares fixedly at the floor in silence, her expression hidden by her bangs. Judging from their astonished reactions, Amani and Makina haven't seen the girl act like this before either.
なんなのよさ。
But when Michiru finally speaks, the first word out of her mouth comes as yet another baffling surprise. Nanchatte?
なんてね、驚いたっていうか、驚いたでしょ。
It's not just the abrupt attitude shift. Michiru's expression is like that of a completely different person. Everyone else in the room, myself included, is struck speechless. Amani blinks her eyes in utter confusion.
どういうこと？
I probably would have been just as baffled if this was my first time seeing this Michiru, but that's not the case. A vague understanding of the situation dawns on me. I see. So that's how it is.
そういうことって、ちょっと意味がわからないんだけど。何真面目な顔してんのよ。ちょっと笑っちゃうんだけど。ほらマキナにあまね、何ボケーっとした顔してんの？私が本気で落ち込むわけないでしょ。そんじょそこらのみちる様じゃないのよ。キングオブツンデレよ。わかる？ほらもう驚いた顔しないで。はい、いつもの通りに。大丈夫なの？大丈夫って何が？今までのは全部冗談よ。なんで私が落ち込まなきゃいけないのよ。っていうか、そんな落ち込むようなキャラに見える？
Could have fooled me for a minute there.
あんたバカそんなキャラじゃないっての。そうなの？本気で怒らせちゃったのかと思ってすっごい驚いて心配しちゃったじゃない。チルチルも意外とやるのよね。つまりあれだろ、ドッキリってことな。ちょっと驚かせてやろうと思ったのよ。かなり真に迫った演技だったんじゃない？みんなコローっと騙されちゃって素直なんだから。すっごい疲れた。どっと疲れが出た。さ、そういう冗談やめてよね。うっかり信じちゃったじゃないの。みんなお人よしなのよ。さ、私はこのミニカーを冷凍庫にどうやって入れるか考えなきゃいけないから、解散。もしかしたらみんなの冷凍庫をちょっとずつ借りるかもしれないからね。冷凍庫にミニカーとか嫌なのよさ。断る。あら、そうケチくさいよね、まったく。それじゃあ私は忙しいんで、ほら解散。解散です。
Oh, sorry.
じゃあね。私もチルチルにいたずらの仕返ししてやるのよさ。ああ、分かってると思うけど、ユージ君はちょっと待って。君には言いたいことがあるんだけど。
The moment the others stagger out of the laundry room, the smile is completely erased from Michiru's face. She watches me with a serious expression, her tone of voice cold. It doesn't surprise me. I've got something I want to ask you myself.
それは好都合ね。そうね。教室で待ってて。なるべく人の来ないところがいいから。
Yeah, fine by me. Where to start about that whole incident? I kind of wish that whole incident didn't end that way. God, Amane really was being a bit too nosy. Machina being there was just a coincidence, but man, Amane was definitely being way too nosy. Thankfully, this happened and, you know, things are averted. But dear God, I can somewhat understand why Yuji think that Amane is such a busybody. But then again, their balance is really fragile. Like, Michiru really needs to be there when Sachi messes up. Amane can't really do anything when Sachi messes up. It's just that she can't really make Sachi feel better. She doesn't understand how Sachi works, as well as Michiru. Alright, I think I'm gonna end the episode right here though. I'm gonna take a short break, probably get some milk or something, and I will be back for the next episode. But yeah, so far it's actually not as weird as I remember. I know I actually disliked this route back then. I wonder why. We'll see if my reasoning still stands. But alright, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give it a like if you like it. Sub if you haven't. And yeah, Patreon gets first dibs on these episodes as I'm finished making them. So yes, I will be back in a bit. So see you guys in about, well, technically in 2 days. But for me, it's like a couple of minutes. See ya.